What's up everybody, McRae Williams here, just doing a quick 5 questions with new schoolers. So we're gonna run through some of the questions you guys commented on the post the other day and try to touch on some of your thoughts. Frickin' darn with what's your favorite part of competition skiing and why? There's a lot of pros and cons to competing, a lot of people who kind of hate on it and don't really understand everything behind it, and you know, I personally have been there. You know, it's tough. Dealing with all the stress and variables that come with competing. When you know, half the time we're out there, we're just wishing we were out in the backcountry building wedges, shredding the sleds, or you know, sunny spring day in the park with our buddies. You know, the best part about competition skiing is that it forces you to be your best, really pushes you to your limit when you wouldn't really, you know, get there on your own. Kind of pushes you out of your comfort zone. It's cool to have something that really forces you to get there and ski your absolute best, and you know, like I said, push your limits. We got a question from Juan Crexil. Do you think you can get yourself only filming ski movies, forgetting about comp? You know, yeah, that's kind of the dream, being a professional skier. Obviously, I feel like throughout my whole career, that's kind of been the plan, is, you know, compete and establish a name for myself, and then hopefully, you know, be able to move on once I get, you know, solidified sponsors and a good name to just film movie parts and, you know, spend the whole season doing that. Of course, I'd love to just film ski movie parts and not worry about competing, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm getting towards the end of my career and definitely thinking about, you know, retiring from competing at this point. I'm 27, so it's tough. I feel like the best thing you can do is kind of find a balance, be able to compete and at the same time film some good ski movie parts, some good edits. Filming is obviously the more fun, artistic side of skiing, but competing is definitely a thrill and exhilarating part of it as well. So, you know, I want to keep doing it as long as I can. A question from the Dirtbag Lifestyle, and they asked, what's your best training tips or exercises to prepare yourself for a season? I don't necessarily like the word training. I don't think a lot of us do in this sport. I think the best thing you can do is just practice makes perfect. Getting on your skis as much as possible and just having a good time doing so is really going to prepare you the most for anything that's coming your way. Competing, filming, just, you know, shredding and having a good time. That's, you know, why we do it. Training's good. It's good to you know, bounce on trampolines. I feel like I've been, you know, doing that my whole life, and definitely goes a long way with air awareness. But at the same time, the reason I bounced on trampolines is because I have a good time doing it. I think it's important to try to get in the gym and stay strong and healthy. But I also think you can do that, you can achieve that in other ways that are a little more fun, such as, I mean, for me personally, growing up in Utah, I've done a lot of rock climbing, a lot of mountain biking, ways that I can, you know, stay healthy and stay fit, but also enjoy it. One thing I will say that I'd like to do a lot, and I think is very important, is stretching and yoga. Just, you know, getting out there every day that you can and shredding and just enjoying it, I think, is the best way to prepare yourself for a season, competition, filming, whatever it may be. Cinder Plausen, favorite skier. Gonna have to go with Mikael Deschanel, OG skier from back in the day. You know, I'm pretty old, so he was one of the guys that I looked up to when I was growing up as a young, you know, aspiring skier, and you know, just seeing his style was one of the biggest things for me. I feel like style was a huge thing back then. It's kind of trickled away a little bit with all the madness of, you know, a lot more competition side of things coming into play, and a lot of kind of acrobats out there just not really too worried about style. And I feel like growing up, that was almost the biggest part of skiing for me. So yeah, Mikhail was always a huge inspiration, super stylish in everything that he does. Watching his parts in Exact Science, Stereotype, one of my favorites. Him doing a nose butter 4 onto a little flat down box in Exact Science was something I'll never forget. I can envision it perfectly right now, and that kind of inspired me to learn the nose butter way back in the day. It's super cool to see him skiing back in the day, and I love watching his parts still to this day for motivation before going up on the hill. Jamin Jamel 207. Do you prefer slopestyle comp or a good old game of slush? It's a good question. You know, I think slopestyle comps are awesome. You know, it's what I've kind of specialized in over the years, and I think it's cool to really paint your own picture throughout the course, and you kind of have the option to do whatever you want to do, which is super cool. But one of the cool things about slush is it really, you know, takes you out of your comfort zone and forces you to do things you might not have ever thought of. And I think it's a really cool way to learn a lot of new tricks, and that's really what I love about slush and what they're doing is obviously it's super interesting to watch, a lot of fun to see all the different games coming out, see the different styles mixed between different riders. You know, you got technical riders going against stylish riders, and that really makes for a interesting game. I, you know, obviously love competing in slopestyle, and you know, that's something I'll do for a long time and have been doing for a long time, but I love what the guys over at Slush are doing, and hope to play a lot more slush games in the future.